There we go. All right, so this is Building 101. I wanted to name this class Base Shop Explosion instead of Building 101 because that's what this class is really going to be about. But how to explode your business from a recruiting standpoint and business standpoint very quickly. And I don't know if you could be learning it from really any better people, really, because I mean, with what Nate did when he came to this business, he absolutely blew it out of the water. He had 69 people in contracting in his first 30 days. Yeah. On top of writing $50,000 in his first month, $85,000 in his first 60 days. So when we talk about massive action, constant correction, that's the definition of what Nate did when he came to this business. And so we're going to talk in this class about several things. We're going to talk about warm market. We're going to talk about cold market. We're going to talk about expectations, how to create a building culture, and then we're going to have a call to action too. So I want to start by explaining the importance of your first 90 days. How many people are brand new in this business? This is your first conference. Wow. Okay, how many people have been here for more than 6 months? Okay, good. So does it matter if you've been here for 6 months, 2 years, or this is day one? For everybody leaving conference, the cool thing about this business is every day can be day zero. Every day you can hit the reset button, right? So if you're leaving conference on Thursday, I'm hitting the reset button. Every conference, I hit the reset button, starting over. And that's what makes this business fun, right? So when I say your first 90 days coming out of conference, okay? You've got to move quickly. You've got to create a story. Because in this business, facts tell, stories sell, right? So if you're recruiting, if you're building, understand we all have the same tools, right? But some of us actually do have unfair advantages. We really do. And we created those unfair advantages. So we all have the same products, yes or no? Yes. Same companies, yes or no?
Yes.
Right? Same commission structure, same tools, same company, right? The number one recruiting tool you will ever have is your story. It's number one. Facts tell, stories sell. So how good of a recruiting tool do you want? As good as possible, right? So when Nate can tell somebody he wrote $50,000 and in his first 7 weeks, the 8th week was Christmas. I didn't tell him that Thanksgiving and Christmas were kind of hard to do this business. And he had literally $200 short of $40,000 deposited in his first 60 days. Is that a good story?
Yes.
How many people do you think he recruits when he tells that story? Everybody. Everybody. Nobody says no to that, right? He understood that from day one. He understood that his 90-day story can never be rewritten. So if you're brand new, that is the best thing I can tell you today. Your 90-day story can never be rewritten. Okay, now I'm not saying you can't hit the reset button, you can't start over. You can say this. I went to my first conference, I messed up before conference, here's what I learned, don't make my mistake. But you've got to have your story. You've got to have a success story of going all in, massive action, constant correction. If you're married, have a conversation with your spouse. That first 90-day story is everything in this business. So here's the other thing that we learned. A lot of people want to start off with production, right? And I'll recruit and I'll build later. How many of you guys thought that or think that or it sounds logical, right? It's the worst thing you can do. Literally, it's the worst thing you can do. Because if you don't do well, then are they going to judge their potential success off of your failures? Yes. That's right. So go out and make a mess in your first 90 days. Your performance, think about it this way. Anybody play high school football or any sports? Any sports in high school? Did you play harder Friday night when the lights were on and the stadiums were full, or during practice?
Game time.
Right, on game night, right? The stadium's full. So the way we looked at recruiting is we're going to recruit a bunch of people. They're not players yet. They're just spectators, and we're on the field playing the game. So many people want to come in this business, and they want to recruit players, and they want to sit in the spectators and watch their team perform. Right? Ideally, how many would like to have that? I think everybody should raise their hand. Ideally, we'd love to sit in the bleachers and have it. But that's not how it works. That's not contagious. That's not attractive, right? It's attractive watching someone put everything on the line, Nate put everything on the line. He had 69 people in licensing. He had 69 people in the audience. Friday night, lights are on. He makes 40 grand in 60 days. Guess what his team wants to do?
40 grand in 60 days.
That's exactly right.
68 of them quit, except for Marlon, so don't get too excited. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, it was a different company back then. We didn't have the websites and the toolkits and it was paper apps and paper this and doing your own spreadsheet. Not saying that you guys have it easier, I'm just saying it was a completely different company. But to add on what you're saying, it's so important when you talk about that, is that the only reason I'm here is because I had people that were in licensing when I got on the phone for the first time. That's the only reason why I'm here. Because I had a pretty big ego at the time. It's something I had to work on for, don't laugh so hard, Beverly, okay? I worked my whole life all broke. I finally made millions of dollars. I had a nice house, I had a Bentley, and I had a Rolex. Well, I had all the nice stuff, right? I wasn't fulfilled in my life, but I had all the nice stuff. So I figured I came here, I know what I'm doing. And I got on the phone the first night, I got my butt kicked. I mean, it was horrific. I'm calling these leads, I'm just like, and so me, it wasn't like, we talk about it now, right? I wasn't like going, oh, these stuff, like, I can do something better than this. I don't need to do this. I don't need calling on Friday night at 7 o'clock. I can go do something else. That's how my brain was thinking. But then my ego got in the way, and I went, oh, man, I can't quit. Marlon and Daniel and Dante and all these people are watching me right now. I gotta at least go out there and make it work for at least 1 week. Yeah. Well, I say that because that's how Brad recruited me. He's just like, well, why don't you just go out in the field for a week? Because I sent a video to 10 people. Marlon was one of them. 9 out of 10 were interested, and I wasn't even planning on doing it. I called them to recruit to another company. And that's why I say, if you want to go out and recruit to build a business, right, have a list, you make a list, or be good enough to be on someone else's list. Because Matt and Brad were good enough to be on my list for a different company I was trying to recruit them to, and he goes, hey, we're doing symmetry. I'm like, symmetry? What's that? He's like, oh, mortgage protection. I'm like, is life that bad, Brad? I never said that. He goes, well, no, you don't understand. I was like, oh, I understand pretty well. You're selling insurance. So that's all I got to tell him. That's why I was ignorant. I was completely ignorant. I thought, well, if you don't have a job, you do network marketing. If you fail at network marketing, you sell insurance, right? I thought that was like the road to hell, right? It's like, that's where you go. It's like, that's where you got your guys like, how big's your gold chain, Brad, right? And so, like I said, I got some guys, I'll send them the video. They're not going to cut it with what I'm doing. I already recruited Martin in that business. He failed at that, like along the other 10 other businesses I got him involved in, he failed at as well. And it's like, so he first went, he goes, man, I think this is my chance. He tells a story. He cried at home going, I think I have an opportunity. He didn't tell me he was crying about it. He just said, I think I'm interested. I said, talk to Brad. Hey, talk to Brad. Hey, talk to Matt. Talk to Brad. That's all I did. Send them their way. And then, like, they're all getting started. I'm like, Brad, what did I miss here, bud? It's like, I watched that video you sent me, and he's like, well, you said you watched the video you sent me? Yeah, I watched half of it. I did. I turned it off. And he goes, watch the other half. And I saw, like, oh, we can go build a team. I said, oh, okay, I thought the Red Cross here. How do I get paid? He's like, well, it's kind of a regulated industry. You have to get your insurance license. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? And so, like, I tell a story. I got my license in 4 days. Oh, that's amazing. No, because I had 9 people started already. I had to get in gear. I had to get ahead of them pretty quick, right? And so I literally thought I was going to come in and just start making money off the people, right? Brad's like, well, what do you get? He's really good. So when he talked about recruiting, he says, he's good. He's good. So listen to everything he's saying, because he did it on me. I know what he was doing, and it still worked. Because even though we know what he's doing, it's still working. Like, who wants to lose money on 9 people? No? Right? He's like, well, why don't you get on the phone and do some conference calls? You had some success in the past. He's all like, good, yeah. And I'm like, yes, I have had success in the past, right? But at the same time, I was like, I don't want to get on the phone and try to train people to do something I never did. I'm like, I'm just not that guy. Like, I can't teach you to sell a house if I never listed on the MLS, never put cookies in the oven, and I never sold the house. I can give you all the motivational stuff, but I don't know how to sell a house, right? I know I could do it, but I never did do it, so how can I train you to do it? He goes, well, why don't you go in the field for a week? He goes, unless you don't think you can do it. Told you, he's good. He's good. I was like, well, of course I can do it, Brad. Give me those leads that you got. How hard can it be? Pick up the phone, calling someone to send them a letter. Beep, 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 beep. I'm not interested. Click. I'm like, oh my God. All right, took care of that. Thanks, everybody. Click. I'm like, oh boy. Whoa. Okay. So, like, that was my start, right? So all you guys would think, wow, you wrote 50 grand. Yeah, that's such an incredible story now, right? I always say there's a story behind the story. So then I was sitting there going, I can't afford not to make this thing work. right? So I went out and I got a decent week. I wrote like $15,000 in APV my first week. After going Auffort, I bought 78 leads and had 3 appointments scheduled after 3 days of calling. That was it. This isn't easy, guys. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. There'd be no leads left, and you wouldn't have an opportunity. And Signature would have 1.2 million people in it, and you have no opportunity. So why do you want it to be easy? So you guys want to go to the golf course and hit a hole in one every time? Oh yeah, it was fun. How much did Tiger Woods win for winning the Masters? He won $2.5 million. What would you want if everyone hit a hole in one all at once? Every time? Nothing. You'd all be tied. But you guys want your life to be easy. You want your business to be easy. We all want it to be easy. Does that make sense? It's not going to be easy. If anyone told you it was easy, leave here now, get your money back, and then sock them in the face for saying, dude, you lied to me. Right? Because it's not easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. You're learning something new. I love the we talked about the neurology of the mylar. Myelin, am I saying it the wrong way? We'll just call it marlin, okay? So the marlin in your brain, right? That's easy to remember. I can remember marlin, right? So it creates that marlin path in your brain, right? We're renaming it marlin. You guys don't brain stuff here. So I don't know what's on your list yet, but I want to talk about that because it's like so important. In this business, if you don't, I got taught a very long time ago, you got to trap yourself. Right? You gotta put yourself in a situation where you can't go back. Like they talk about burning the bridge. Doesn't mean you walk out of your house and light your house on fire. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I trapped myself. I had people watching me. I was in the stadium, and no matter how tired you are, no matter how sick, you ever see it's like, oh, that guy has 104 fever and he's playing in the NBA Finals. Because they put themselves in the game. And they're a professional, and they're not gonna look stupid in front of 30, 40, 50, 100,000 fans just because they have the flu. They go out there. They practically are dead at the end of the game, but they go out and perform, right? A lot of people are afraid to trap themselves. Well, I'm just going to start off with like $50 in leads, and we'll see how it goes. Well, I'll tell you how it's going to go. You might as well take $50 and put it on black in Vegas and spin the wheel and hope it hits black. That's how it's going to go. That attitude, that's how it's going to go. Well, I'll try a small lead order for like $200-300. We'll just see how it works. We'll give it 90 days to see how it works out. Wow, that's beautiful. I'm glad it wasn't at your wedding. I can only imagine you standing at the altar, right? It's like, do you take them to love, cherish, to death do you part, and go, yeah, we give it 9 days, see what happens. Give it a try, a little whirl. I mean, it's like, you don't do that in your marriage, but yet people do it here. I'll get the gym 90 days to see how it works out. So like all the stuff that we're going to talk about, you got to be willing to trap yourself, back yourself in a corner, and realize that there is no back door. I think someone talked about that. You know, give it a year, give it 2 years, whatever the case may be. And if you're able to do that, you'll be surprised how you'll perform if you don't have a way out. See, if you have a way out, you're always looking how to go back that way. If you don't have a way out, you're always looking, how can I get past what I'm facing right now? And you can watch movie after movie, after read a book after a book. It all tells you the same stuff. But we were never taught at school. So anyway, I thought that was super important to do that. I think we're going to cover like 3 of your bullet points. Sorry. Don't hand the microphone to me again.
So, we want to create a building culture, right? We want the expectation of people to come here to build. And so we ask people when we're interviewing them, whether it's warm market or cold market, doesn't matter. We're going to ask them, we're looking for 2 people, 2 types of people. We're looking for agents, we're looking for agency builders. And we describe the lifestyle. There's some people that want to come here, they want to be in control of their income and in control of their schedule and work 2-3 days a week. But every week they're unemployed. It's better than a job, they're in full control, but every single week they're the only one responsible for their income. Second type of person, so I didn't down it, but I definitely let them know there's some missing gaps there, right? Second type of person is agency builder. They obviously need to know what they're doing in the field and prove themselves, but they run a territory, they build a team. And those types of people, and I start sharing stories, like Nate's story, he built a team, Marlon's story, start sharing stories, people that built a team and the lifestyle they have. So if you had to choose between being an agent and an agency builder, which would you choose? What do you think 100% of people say after that? Agency builder. So if you had to pick having that lifestyle sooner or later, which one would you pick? Sooner. A or B. You see how I'm doing that? Agent or agency builder. Sooner or later. Sooner. Everyone. Okay. And then we start building. Here's the expectation. See, when you're recruiting a builder, they will perform better. They will be better producers. If you're only recruiting producers and you're focusing on the opportunity of working leads and selling, guess what they're gonna do when they run into obstacles? They're gonna quit. Right? I mean, how many of you guys have had cry. How many of you guys have had a strong income in the past? How many of you guys, keep your hands raised, how many of you guys that didn't maybe have sold in the past, had a sales position? Okay, how many of you guys left those positions? So pretty much everybody, right? So why would you leave a high-paying position?
There's lots of culture.
Culture, lots of reasons, right? Would you have left if you were making $100,000 a month residually? Or, I mean, $100,000 a year, $100,000 a month, yeah. But even $100,000 a year, would you have quit?
Your income now, Brad.
Yeah.
Quit
But
bragging.
people don't quit residual income, and they also don't quit on friends, right? So relationship building is important too. But that's why I want to set that expectation, because I never would have recruited Nate ever if I had talked to him about the opportunity of selling. No interest. He's an entrepreneur. He wants to build a business. He wants to build a legacy. So we're talking about legacy building. We're talking about financial freedom. We're talking about lifestyle, time and money, not just money. So I hear so many people doing interviews, and they're focusing so much on the selling part, on the leads and all the facts. Every time you want to talk about facts, imagine you're chopping them with a fact axe. Like you're killing your prospect. Fact. Dead. They're gone. No chance. Facts tell, stories sell. It is so, and I want you to talk about this, Nate, because you are the master storyteller. It's so important in this business. Anything in sales, you've got to become a master storyteller. But it's so important with recruiting, because facts tell, stories sell. So many people, and I'd love for you to talk about this, Nate, so many people think that they have to have a story in order to recruit. How many of you guys feel like that? I've never done it before. How am I supposed to recruit? I've never had success here. I got to go make it work so I can recruit other people, right? Again, worst idea you could have. Because you want to start, I'm going to let you do this part, Nate, but it's so important that you focus on the stories. Think of yourself like this. You walk into a museum and you get hired. Now your goal is to become the artist. But you're not an artist. You've never painted before, but you want to learn from the painter. And so they say, okay, you're going to learn from the master painter, and then in the evening, you're going to be the tour guide to make money. Okay? So you don't have a story yet. You're not the master painter, but when you come in here, we want you to go to this painting. Just be the tour guide. Take the crowd. Here's this painting. Here's this painting. Here's this. All the details about the painting. This is the background behind it. This is the story behind the painter. Right? That's what recruiting is. You have to learn the Marlon Faulkner. This is the Marlon Faulkner. This is the Marlon Faulkner. Here's his background. Here's what happened. He was homeless when he came here. Now he's making $40,000 a month. This is how the lifestyle. His family. This is the Nate Auffort. This is the Marshall Whalen, the Edward Pritchett. Now, do you have to have a story yourself to recruit that way? Do you have to be, or is anybody going to say, well, yeah, but what have you painted? Well, yeah, that's wrong. What did you paint? Nobody would ever ask that. That's what we're all afraid of, right? That's what we're all afraid of. Well, what did you do? That wouldn't make any sense. You're just the tour guide. You're not the master artist. So, give us some ideas of storytelling, what they should be doing when they don't have a story themselves.
So like we were talking about that, right? Like you go up there and you go, this is the Brad Smith, right? You go to the next one and go, this is the Brad Smith. Oh no, that's Matt Smith, right? So it was harder, it was twice as hard for me to promote those guys. I never knew who I was talking to, right? Yeah, the bearded Brad, there you go. So let me talk about, okay, so facts tell, stories sell, right? And we said it all the time, it sounds all really cool, facts tell, stories sell, but how many really truly believe that? See, not so many, right? Okay, sing along if you got this. Here's a story. A lovely lady. Three very lovely girls. Come on, everybody. Come on, cool people. Okay, stop. Okay, so when's the last time you watched that show?
30 years ago.
30 years ago. I remember the Super Bowl commercial. Three dogs, right? 3 frogs on a lily pad. What in the heck does that have to do with beer? How many facts were on that show about beer, that commercial? All I remember is Bud, Wise, You guys remember, right? Yeah. And you go out and you're at a convenience store. You don't even think about it and what you're doing. You're not even consciously thinking about it. Like Budweiser, boom, drink it. How about a real beer commercial? Come on, guys. Like, would they ever get on there and say, hey, 4,682 people died last year of drunk drivers? And they show a car wrapped around a tree? Or better yet, you got at the end of the night, and you're coming out of the nightclub with your three buddies, and you're all staggering around, right? And you're like going, oh, man, I got to pee somewhere. I got to find somewhere to pee. Right? Sure, oh, hold on a second. Brad, that's my leg. You're peeing on my leg. Stop it. Right? Like, they don't, I wouldn't sell a lot of beer, would it? No, it wouldn't. See, that's the facts. Right? That's the facts. What they're selling you on the story. Right? Off the backboard, off the floor, nothing but.
Yeah.
Oh my, guys, that commercial wasn't on for 28 years. I bet you can still picture Larry Bird, Michael Jordan dressed in his cool little 80s jumpsuit, shooting off the top of the building, bouncing into the gym, into the net. Like, that's not a real McDonald's commercial. Does that have anything to do with the facts? I mean, like, how well would they sell McDonald's hamburgers if you see all these cows, like, they're all standing in line, right? Then the next time it comes up, shotgun. Beef. It's what's for dinner. I mean, like, how many realize you're not going to sell a lot of burgers that way? Okay, so, now that we got that out of the way, okay, so facts tell, stories sell. Yeah, so now we got it out of the way. See, you got to become a good storyteller. You don't have to be that great at this business. You don't have to be good at sales. You got to be a good storyteller. It's telling the stories of other people. When you're networking, when you're sitting down with people, when you're going to have lunch, when you get on your conference calls, when you meet people at these conferences, get their phone number. Don't get their phone numbers. So you go, what do you do? What do you do? Ask them what their story is. What is your story? What you used to do?
Sales.
What do what?
Search engine optimization.
SEO, right? Search engine optimization. And why'd you get out of it?
Going out.
It was going out? How long did you work there for?
5 years.
5 years? Were you making good income? Did you quit, or did you get fired, or did you get downsized, or you quit because the business was going under?
Right.
And then what happened with Symmetry? How long have you been doing Symmetry for?
4 years.
4 years. Okay, great. When you first got started, were you scared, nervous, excited?
Yes.
All the above. Okay, that's good. Okay, so what happened your first week?
I didn't get my first application.
What was your biggest? Okay, yeah. What was your biggest failure? Your first week, you didn't get your first application for what?
2.5 months.
2.5 months. And then what's your biggest success in Symmetry?
34,000.
In
1 month.
ABB? And what month did you do that in?
Oh, that's a couple years ago.
Okay, great. So, hey, I know you're in the technology industry, SEO and different things. I don't even know what that means, search engine offerings or something. I don't know what it is, right? So I know you're in that technology, and I can't even relate to you because I used to be a waiter. I'm a college dropout. But I was sitting down with my business partner today, and I was talking to him. He did the same thing he did for 5 years. And he was really nervous and scared when he made that switch because it was something new for him. He actually did struggle. His first, I think it was 2.5 months, he couldn't even write an application. But within a handful of months, by him following the system, he literally wrote over $34,000 in annual premium volume in 30 days and made about half of that direct deposit in his bank account. Story?
Yeah.
Is that anything to do with me?
No.
Get good at that. Find out everyone that you can relate to. Who's a bartender? Jacob Poe. Who had a company in the past? Matt and Brad Smith. Who was broke and homeless? Only Marlon, so don't use this story. I can see everyone's like going, I got 4 homeless guys. Marlon, can you talk to them? It's like airs on the thing, like, you know, it's like same that video they did. Right? So get good at telling stories. And the other thing you gotta do, I'm gonna cover this real quick, I'm gonna hand it back to you. The other thing you gotta realize, guys, this is you, right? How many of you wanna build a group?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming, guys. We're wasting our time here. How many of you wanna build a group?
Yeah.
Good, there you go. So this is you, right? You first get started, oh my gosh, right? Well, if you're me, it's more like this. There you go, okay? Well, that's the wrong ear. Right, so this is you getting started. Yeah, my hair got bit off by a pit bull, but I won. Good. So this is you. Here's all the people that you know. Friends, families, contacts, people that you know. Your friends trust you. They trust you. They have trust. They have relationship equity. But they do not respect you in this business. They don't. And the biggest mistake, all you type A personalities or people that had an ego like when I walked in this room are going to think that they do, and they don't. They don't. I'll prove it to you. Okay? How many here have ever been on a, how many here are married? Okay, good. So you guys are all closers. Okay, good. I know who I'm talking to. All right, good. Right? How many have been on a date? All right, you've been on a date. I was gonna, so you've been out with the same sex or opposite sex, whatever, right? But you've been out with someone else besides yourself? How about that? Raise your hand. Woo. All right, this is building 101. Okay, great. So I'll take the male's perspective, right? So ladies, you gotta play along here, right? So guys, you finally get this beautiful woman to go out with you and you have your first date, right? You know, you're in there, you're ironing your jeans, you know, you're finally actually, for the first time in your life, you're actually clipping your nose hairs in the mirror, you know, putting the cologne on, taking your shower. You actually show up early, you get to the door, you know, it's like, hi, is Laura there? Oh, well, she's not ready yet. She's still upstairs getting ready. Oh, no problem. I'll just have a seat here. You know, you get your flowers in your hand, right? She comes down, you're like, oh, you just look so beautiful. She's like, oh, thank you. You're like, here's some flowers. Oh, you're so great. It's like, okay, where do you want to go have dinner? Oh, you know, I like to go have Mexican. You're like, Mexican. Great. That's awesome. I love Mexican, right? You walk down there, you grab the car door, you open the car door, you shut in there, right? Get the dinner, you have this nice, beautiful dinner. She's done dinner. She's like, hey, you know what? This is a beautiful lake right there. It'd be great to go have a walk. Wouldn't it be great to have a walk? Oh, yeah, it'd be great to have a walk. So you're walking by a lake, holding hands, you have little butterflies in your stomach. She's like, I'm a little chilly. She's like, oh, here's my jacket. Right? Come on, ladies, right? First 6 months, right? First 6 days, I don't know, right? What happens 6 months later? Right? You're going to get on a date, right? Laura there? Yeah, she's not there. Oh my gosh, she takes forever. You're always late. We're in this movie. Tell her I'll be waiting in the car. So you're sitting in the car, right? And she's down there. Come on. Right? She finally gets to the door, so you're like, she pissed you off, so I'm going to piss her off. So she goes open the door, you're like, lock. Unlock. Lock. Right? Finally, she gets in. She's like, that's not funny. He's like, where do you want to go eat Mexican? I'm tired of eating Mexican. I hate Mexican. My stomach is, we're going to go, let's go to a sports bar. Another game's on. Okay, so you go into the car, right? Get to the sports club. You're watching the game. You're not even paying attention to her, right? You're watching the game and everything else. She's like, you're all done. You're like going, well, you know, it's been a while. I was like, remember, we're right by that lake. Remember our first date with the lake? Fine. I was like, this is halftime. I need to get back from my third quarter. So, yes, I'm going to walk around the lake, honey. So you're walking around the lake, right? And she's like going, oh, man, I'm a little chilly. You're like, I told you it was going to be cold. You should have brought a jacket. I'm warm. Right? It's like, it changes. True or false? It does. It does. And so all your friends know you for who you are. They know you're the dork that was doing whatever or partying with you in college or he worked with you at work. They know your strengths, your weaknesses, all that stuff, so they're not going to respect you. And so people come in there and they start pitching them, all their friends, with this incredible opportunity. Hey, we're going to make millions of dollars. We're going to change the world. We're going to do insurance. And you wonder when it gets started. So what I had to do is I figured out, when I recruit people, I still don't talk about me. I don't tell my story. Other people do. I don't get on the phone and go, hey, listen, you're really lucky to work with me. I went out and made, $50,000 the first month, worked $50,000, $85,000. I had 40 grand deposit in my account my first 2 months. And besides that, I was the #1 agency director, #1 regional agency director, and also the Rookie of the Year first year. They even gave me the Impact Player of the Year award. Pretty awesome, right? One of the fastest people ever to reach equity partner. Last month, they made $86,425. So, what is it that you do again? How many want to sign up with a guy like that? No? So I talk about how I met Matt and Brad, and I talk about Marlon, and I talk about Ron, and I talk about Gus, and I'm constantly edifying, I can't spell, so I just kind of scribble, it looks like I can spell. Edifying the respect of an expert or telling other people's stories. So how many here would love to hire Brad for free? I would. I did. Because when I tell people to come in and go, hey, there's 2 types of people. Type 1 wants to go out and build an organization, or go out there and sell insurance, can make anywhere from $75,000 to $250,000 a year. Second type person wants to go out there, not only do that, but also build an organization where potentially it can generate a passive income of $75,000 to $250,000 a year. Which one are you? Well, I'm the type 2 agent. Okay, great. So, what the biggest mistake they'll make when they come in here is they don't start recruiting right away. It says here you want to build an agency. You want to go out and build an agency? And they always say, well, yeah, but not right away. I want to kind of get my feet wet and everything else. I said, hey, that makes 100% logic, and that is completely, absolutely right. I always agree with them. That's absolutely right. It makes the most amount of sense. But here's the problem with that. See, the problem is I don't want you to get your feet wet. I want you to get your head wet. Because if you're getting your feet wet, you're dipping your toe in the water. If you're going to get your head wet, I need you to dive in the pool, and I need you to get good at two things: on the phone and in the home. That's it. I need to learn this business. I need you to immerse yourself in this business and get good on the phone and in the home. And what happens is I'll help you with everything else. So you know people I don't know. Think of the 10 best people that you know. And if you put them in front of me and I got 5 of them involved in this business, where would your income be in the next 6 to 8 months? And if those 10 people talk and they hate the business, they hate me, and you guys are still friends, so you don't lose anything, don't you? And see, here's the deal. Let's say if you wanted to wait, I have no doubt that you'll be incredible in this business. You're going to be probably one of our top producers, not maybe be hit the Rookie of the Year. Last guy I worked with, his name was Boom Boom Boom, told a story. I think you're better than him. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to go out there, you're going to figure this thing out, and 3 months from now, you're going to go out and you're going to start recruiting. And guess what? I'm going to be working with somebody else at that point in time. You got 90 days of my time here to invest 90% of my energy, effort into you and help you build your organization. I'll still help you, but I got other people and other organizations I'm working with. So what's going to happen now, in 3 months, when you finally figure it out, you get your first 3 people, guess who they're calling up for all their questions? They're calling you, aren't they? What products are right? Guess who they're calling? You. How do I print off my applications on my pipeline? They're calling you. How do I put my app in the app? They're calling you. Or you, they're calling you. Right? And so what happens is either what's going to happen, you're going to get overwhelmed and your production's going to drop, and you're not going to make near as much money as you did, or you're going to quit because you're going to feel overwhelmed. So why don't we do this? Why don't you introduce the people to me? I'll talk to them, I'll work with them, and I'll train them while you're out there figuring out the business. In 90 days, when you lift your head up and you're really ready to build a team, you're going to have 4 or 5 other people that know exactly what you know. Which way would you like to do it? Great, give me a list over your people so I can start talking to them. That's how you recruit. Got it? Wow. Facts tell. Right. Edify your expert. Somewhere in your upline, there's somebody. I always said an expert is anyone with, we used to say, I'm aging myself, anyone with a briefcase that they don't know. We don't really carry briefcases around. So it's basically anyone in this business that they don't know is an expert. They don't have to be involved for 3, 4, 5 years. I just edified him as my expert. I could have him talk to any one of my people. I feel very confident with him talking to all of them. They respect him more than me because I've already built a relationship with him. And now they only think of him how I promoted him. Here's a guy who's been with our business for 4 years, man. He's one of those guys that he never quits. Against all odds, he made it work. It took him 2.5 months to write an app. And a handful of months later, he's running over $30,000, $40,000 in a month, making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in 1 month. And he comes from the same background. You got to talk to this guy. He'll tell you exactly what he did and how he did it and what pitfalls to avoid. Go to work. So the person that you're working with, you get to hire him for free. When was the last time you had a chance to hire someone that's making a 6-figure income, $500,000 or $1 million a year, doing what it is that you're trying to do, and you got to hire them for free? Anyone? So get to work on that when you leave here. And that's like I said, see, this is a pivotal point for you. I don't care if you've been involved for 4 years, I don't care if you've been involved for 3 months or 3 days, or it's your first conference. This is a pivotal point, because you have from now and 90 days after this, like Brad talked about, to build your story. There's nothing wrong with saying, I've been here for 8 months and I was struggling and I couldn't make any money. The biggest check I ever made was $1,000, but I went to conference. And I'll tell you what, that was the moment my business changed. Because of the speakers that were there and the information I learned at these breakouts, I came back and I literally expanded my business and grew it by 400 to 600%. I had no one working on my team, now I have over 20. I never wrote over $5,000 in a month, and now I'm doing it in a week. I got to get your team going and start helping you build so we can get as many people to the next conference as possible. Imagine in August when we go to this altitude conference, if we had 5 people that got the same information that I got and you got it, and you had 5 of me doing $5,000 a week. That's a $100,000 a month organization, isn't it? And if you're only making 10%, that's a 6-figure in passive income. Who can we talk to get to the next altitude conference? Do you guys get that?
Yeah.
I mean, is that a little different than going, so what do you think? I think this sucks. Okay, let me go run another ad. Back to you, Brad.
Oh, you said it's so cute. I hate following you. How do we do classes? he said that was so key, and I was going to say, is the importance of digging. See, whether you're doing cold market or warm market, you have to dig deep, because is gold or diamonds ever found on the surface?
No.
No. What's found on the surface?
Dirt.
Dirt. Dirt. You have to dig in order to find the diamonds or the gold. You have to mine it out, right? So here's an example. A lot of people say that they don't have a warm market. Like, how many actually believe that? You don't have much of a warm market. Good. Well, there's a couple people. But some people are thinking it. You just aren't going to raise your hand. It's true. You don't have much of a warm market. The reality is, this is statistics. The average 21-year-old, and we're all, probably most of us are only 21. Well, you still
He said
probably
most.
most know 1,000 people by their first name. Now, it's not going to mean like hot market or warm, maybe lukewarm, maybe acquaintances or a friend of a friend, right? If you think about all, and there's different mind joggers where you can actually write it down and mine out the people in your mind. But 1,000 people, the most valuable thing that I want to have, the most valuable thing for Bear, if he's my new recruit, the most valuable thing is not his activity, it's not his production, it's the contacts in his cell phone. That's the gold. See, think of it like a deck of cards. Every single person that you know is a card in the deck. How many aces are in a deck of cards?
4.
How many total cards are there?
52.
So 4 to 52 cards are aces, right? How many 2s?
4.
How many 3s?
4.
How many 10s?
4.
So why is it that we think that every single person we recruit should be an ace? I didn't expect them to be an ace. When they did, I was happy. An ace showed up. But think of it like a deck of cards turned over, you have no idea what it is, and you're flipping a card. Oh, it's a 3. Oh, it's a 5. Oh, here's a jack. Right? And an ace is somebody that shows up, low maintenance, does everything they're supposed to do, goes to training, it's an ace. Right? But most people aren't aces. So I'm flipping over a deck. So how fast do you want to get through your deck of cards? Do you want to take a year? See, it doesn't matter how fast you go, whether you do it in a week, a month, or a year, or 2 years. Does it matter on how many aces you're going to uncover? No. Yes or no?
No.
No, there's still 4 aces, so why would you take a year to go through your deck of cards? Just flip them over as fast as you can and get to the aces. Flip them over, get to the kings and the queens and the jacks. Get it out of the way. Don't prejudge. And see, every ace has a deck of cards. How many aces does he have? 4. So I'm going to help him flip through his cards until I get those aces. I'm going to help him flip through those cards. I have people that say, I recruited 6 people and they all quit. How many people did you help them recruit? None? That's why they quit.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Jake Burbage, a college friend, he trusted me. He didn't respect me. He was one of the first people in this business. He recruited Aaron Holloway agency, who's now doing about $200,000 a month. He recruited Aaron. Actually, I helped him. We did a 3-way. Recruited Aaron. He disappeared. I continued to work with Aaron, going through Aaron's deck of cards. Then going through Virginia Castano, who's part of the Aaron Hall. Then going through Josh Putzer. Then going through Colby Setzer. I mean, he's got some killer people on his team. And we just kept digging, flipping cards, flipping cards, flipping cards, flipping cards. I called Jake back 2 years later. Hey, man, you're missing out. Like, he got passed. You know you have an agency right now doing $200,000 a month, and you're not earning anything on them? He's like, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah, you can earn them back. I can help you catch up. All of a sudden, he re-engages. We start flipping cards. He gets Renee Reed. I go work with Renee Reed. She recruits Jeremiah Contra. We keep going down, down, down. What I'm looking for is an anchor. See, do fires burn, like if you were to light a rope on fire, is it going to burn faster if you light the top of the rope or the bottom of the rope? Bottom, right? Because fire goes up. That's how I recruit. I'll recruit. I got a 10. I got an ace down here. Might have a 5 and a 10 and a jack and a queen and a 2, but I got an ace down here. Now that I got an ace, I can call everyone else and use fear of loss. You see how that works? That's how we do it. That's how you built your business. Like boom, 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 boom. We're digging for the gold, for the diamond. We're lighting them on fire, and everything else lights on after that. Right? Want to talk about cold market, or do you just want to?
What's off your notes?
I never do notes. Make funny jokes about Marlon. We did that already. Check that off. Yeah, that's just because that could take like 15 minutes. Do you guys want to do questions and answer, or just go leave early?
We'll stay late.
I need to ask it a different way. How about I do it this way? No, what's that? Questions and answers. What do you guys got?
Cold market.
Cold market. Marlon says you gotta keep your promises. The board says cold market.
Cold market? Okay. Cold market. So what's that, like Washington, Utah, Colorado, Minnesota, cold market? Where else is some cold market? Yeah, you're warm market though. You're into cold market. All right, then. Okay, so cold market's the simplest, easiest thing you could ever possibly do if you just go do it. It is, because it's the easiest. It's like you get to pick the person you want to recruit. It's like the difference between going on 100 blind dates or actually meeting the person in person, not on Facebook, because that's like their best shot they ever did, like when they were 32 years old with the glamour shot, and then you show up like, that's not the same person. Where'd they come from, right? I'm glad I don't have to go date anymore. So it's like it's the difference between doing 100 blind dates or actually meeting that person in person, right? So I'm always looking for people that walk fast. You might want to write this stuff down, right? I mean, my brain's not that good, but walk fast, talk fast, right? Have a spring in their step. I mean, where? Everywhere. I used to love recruiting in line. You're like, what? I love to get in a line. I hate lines, but I like to get in a line because guess what? They're trapped. I have a person in front of me, and I have a person behind me. And so the cool thing is, if I piss the person off in front of me, they get out of the line, I just moved up a spot. I literally, guys, when I was out recruiting, I used to get middle seats in an airplane on an hour or two flight. Like, I was always just recruit. I get a middle seat. Why? One to my right, one to my left. And what do they always ask you? So what do you do for work? What do they ask you? What do you do? Ding, 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 ding. And then I can sit there and talk about stories, right, and everything else. But another great thing is like I waiters, waitresses, they're incredibly great people to recruit. If you're in a retail shop, I mean, the more money you make, the cool thing is, the more money you make, the better you're going to be. You're going to get into a lot higher caliber people recruits, right? But the easiest line that I ever used, and I continue to use, right? And let's just say that, I don't know, let's pick somebody out of the audience. We're not going to pick you. What's your name? Robert. Did you ever do wait tables before, dude? No? Who's ever wait tables before? Okay, what is your name? Gloria. So Gloria's done the table, right? And she's like super nice and sweet and everything else. And before I get ready to leave, I go, Gloria, let me ask you a question. This might sound kind of weird, but like, are you looking, do you keep your career options open, or are you looking to do this for the next 20, 30 years?
No, I
You what?
keep my options open.
100% of the time. I've had one person in 20 years ever say no, because a guy wanted to have a macaroni grill franchise, and he was really excited about it. I said, man, I would just, literally, I'd be like, I go to a lot of restaurants, the way you handle my wife and my child, I mean, you're awesome. You're friendly, your smile lights up a room. I just have to ask you, do you keep your career options open, or are you looking to work here for the next 20, 30 years? Every time they're going to say, I always keep my career options open. Who doesn't keep their career options open? I'll say, listen, Gloria, now's not the time or place. I know I'm eating dinner and you're working, and I don't want to get your hopes up or guarantee anything. But if you give me your name and number, either myself or my manager can call, and maybe I might be able to set you up for an interview. Cool? And they give you their name and number. Who doesn't do it? I recruited it. Some of you guys are laughing. I did it all the time. All day, every day, in a retail shop. I'd go, hey, how long have you guys, whoever worked retail before? Okay, great. Okay, so I go, hey man, how long have you, like, and obviously you're not like Guess Jeans saying how long you've owned the store, you know what I'm saying? But if I was like in Guess Jeans, like, how long have you been the manager here? He'd go, I'm not the manager, right? Say, I'm not the manager.
I'm not the manager.
Really? Oh my God, you could have fooled me. I mean, I've been in and out of the store. I've shopped here all the time. I'm like, you took care of me like I thought you were the manager or something. Hey, listen, I mean, this may sound off the wall. I work with a company right now. They're hiring in this area. We're looking for sharp, talented, motivated people, and we're running a bunch of ads. We're just not finding the quality people that we're looking for. I'm sure you probably understand that. Do you keep your career options open by chance, or are you looking to work here for the next 20, 30 years? Always looking for an opportunity. Listen, now's not the time or place. I'm grabbing my phone. Hey, I'll get your number real quick. Let's just change numbers. I don't want to get your hopes up or promise you anything, but I'm going to hook you up with my manager in the area. Either myself or he'll call you, and we'll see if we can set up an interview. Cool? All right, awesome, man. I mean, you can collect the numbers all day long. Why go talk to somebody? It's like, I'm the executive vice president for Sears Roebuck, and I just happened to put my resume out there because I was just, just seeing if really get better than that. Come on. Some guy sitting in his underwear at home, lost his job 3 weeks ago. Tell you how great he is. I mean, how many here made $100,000, $200,000 a year and put your resume online? Like, there's something going on in your life. Either the job's closing down, or you're frustrated, or you're not happy with your job, right? And then you get on the phone and they tell you how great they are. And they're on ZipRecruiter and Career Builder. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, right? But most people, have you ever been in the ads before? I know I have. My life was not going good when I was looking for a job. I was dissatisfied. I was unhappy. There was something going on that I wanted to find something better. True or false?
True.
True. So you're dealing with people, and we got incredible people off ZipRecruiter. I'm not saying don't do that, or don't do Career Builder. Do all of it. You're fishing in a lake, and you want to have as many rods in the water, or market rods. You want to have a cold market rod. You want to have a ZipRecruiter rod, a Career Builder rod, and you want to have a cold market rod. I just always like doing cold market. I hurt my back recently, okay? And I have, I guess they call it a ruptured disc. Actually did it about 3 weeks ago. I fell to the floor like a little baby. I couldn't walk. I literally crawled on my bed. It's taken 15, 20 minutes to stand up every morning. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know the pain, right? I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, ever. That and food poisoning, two things that even if I hate you, I don't want you to get either one of those, okay? It's just bad. And so I finally found a kinesiologist and a chiropractor and a neurologist that have been working on me. Again, that's the cool thing about symmetry. I mean, I was kneeling at my desk for the last week. I haven't been able to walk until 3 days ago. I was kneeling at my desk on my wife's yoga mat working. My knees were just killing me. Like literally kneeling, going like this, and then switching my knee because I couldn't bend. Because if I bent, my back would lock up and I couldn't get up. Like I literally, my wife, well, I don't know the detail. Anyway, so it was bad, right? And so and I was talking about this in the mindset thing, I'm always thinking, okay, something good's about to happen, something good's about to happen, something good's about to happen. Because that happened in like 2 or 3 other things, something good's about to happen. And I was searching online for this ergonomic chair, and it's supposed to be, it's like, and again, because of symmetry, I had the money to be able to go search out the best physical therapist in Frisco, the best neurologist, the best acupuncture. I never would have dreamed it. I was like, going, holy cow, that's a lot of money. But here, because of symmetry, what it does for you, I was able to go out and get the best. That's what money does for you, right? And so within like 3 or 4 treatments, they had me where I can walk again. I can sit on an airplane. I was afraid I wasn't able to even sit down at the conference. And so I found this ergonomic chair. It was like a $1,700 chair. And I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I'm like, this is my back, right? This is my life. I sit in this chair all day, every day. And so I had to find a store, drove down to the store, and went in there, sat down with the guy, sat in this chair. It was an amazing chair. I sat there for like 40 minutes. I was like, I didn't want to get up. Like, I never sat down and felt good about sitting down. Anyway, long story short, right? I had dropped a few hints about my business because I also build curiosity because curiosity killed the cat. And so I was talking to a coworker, not to him because he was super sharp. And I came back the next day to get the chair, and he goes, I'm glad you came back. He goes, why? I said, well, I got really curious about what you're talking about. No way, really? I had no idea why you'd be curious about the things I was saying. And he goes, I went and Googled your name online, saw you do a testimonial, I did research about your company. He goes, I've been praying for an opportunity. I think symmetry is it. Whoa. And he's a guy who's had his own business for 15, 20 years doing artifacts and everything else with his wife. They got kicked out of their building because the city came in and wanted to put the police station in their building after 20 years. They said, you're out. There's a word for it, but I don't know what it's called. Eminent domain. Basically means we're going to take your building and get it out, right? I mean, that's eminent domain. We're the city, take your stuff, take it out, you're done. Their business went under. He had to go get a job at a retail store. His wife still sells art online, different things of that nature. He works for, I forget what the company's called. It's a very high-end place. He goes, no one's ever sold $1 million in sales in this business within a year. He goes, I did it my first 10 months. And he followed me to my car. Why? Because I was talking about Marlon's story, I was talking about Brad's story, I was talking about Gus's story, I was talking about Ron's story. He's following me to my car. And he looked at me and goes, I promise I won't let you down. I promise. Just give me a chance. Give me a chance. I mean, how many that's a little bit different type of recruiter? But that's how I recruit everyone. The guy who delivered my pizza 3 days before I walked out to this conference, him and his wife own the pizza shop, Joe's Pizza. I know we gotta go. Last story. And they're super nice to her. He's like, Mr. Nate, he always calls him Mr. Nate, right? And he's like, oh, it's a beautiful home, Mr. Nate. He dropped it off, and he's like, here's my card. I go, what do I need your card for? I said, I have your number. He goes, oh, because we just sold the business. I go, what? He goes, oh, it's some Italians. I'm like, oh, really? You guys sold the business? He goes, no, Mr. Nate, I just want to make sure that everything's okay on your, and this is a pizza. So I shut the door, put the pizza there, said, honey, turn the oven on, keep it warm. We sat on the porch for 45 minutes. He almost came to conference. Same thing, I could show you Texas. Same thing. You know what he said? Please give me a chance. I promise I won't let you down. Because me and my wife are hard workers. And I said, I love you guys. Like, we love you too, Mr. Nate. So, like, when you want to recruit, and so you don't have to do it all day, every day. I mean, I haven't probably recruited for like a year and a half, but now I'm starting to build another base shop. I'm starting to build another base shop. And then, like, yo, you go out and recruit. You go do it for a couple weeks. I recruited for 3 weeks. I'm turning into 28 people in 3 weeks of putting ads in the paper and doing some cold market recruiting. Don't think it's hard. It's not hard. Just get butts in the chairs, tell stories, edify the expert, and let them do the work.